Hello and welcome into the latest edition of ESPN FC. Stevie Nicol here alongside me, Kay Murray in the studio, and we'll be starting the show tonight with the Kylian Mbappé saga. Kylian Mbappé and PSG, will he or won't he leave this summer? The soap opera continues. Just taking a look and to give you a quick reminder of the timeline. Remember, it all started with Kylian sending that letter out, followed up by a tweet saying, no, I will actually be playing for PSG next season. Then his mother launched a sports agency with Mbappé as the client. Wednesday, PSG president gave an ultimatum for Mbappé to sign a new contract or leave this summer. Thursday, PSG sent a 3-page letter to Mbappé giving him a deadline of July 31st. Mbappé, currently in Cameroon, his father's native country, did speak to the media about the situation. Speaking, he said, Kylian is in Cameroon for the time being, and that's the most important thing. I want to make the most out of my stay, get the most out of my holidays. I want to enjoy being with the people of Cameroon. That's my only concern. Let's welcome in Frank Leboeuf and Alex Kirkland to talk more about this. And let me start with you, Frank. How's all this gone down in France?
Well, it's tricky because you can understand that you want to play a game and you want to get something out of it. But what Kylian Mbappé is trying to do that we totally ignore it. He has a huge salary. He plays for Paris Saint-Germain. He plays for the club he always wanted to play. He denied, well, he didn't want to go to Real Madrid. So why he's doing that? And why he doesn't make things clear for the club, for the fans, and maybe for also Real Madrid, maybe if they want to hire him. So I don't understand. People don't understand. They start to be a little bit fed up, I have to say. It's somebody that I really love. It's somebody that I always supported and try to defend. But sometimes it's rare. It's hard to do so. Well, you don't understand the meaning of the thing. It's like he wants to play with the club. He's kind of resentful toward the club because of his behavior. But for which reason, I don't know. And most people don't know. And I think the club is starting to be fed up.
It's interesting, Alex, actually, as our Madrid correspondent, we've heard a lot, as you've just seen on that timeline, from PSG's president, Nasser Al-Khelaifi. We've not really heard anything from Florentino Perez just yet. Why is that?
Exactly, that's just what I was going to say. It's notable looking at that timeline. It's all PSG and Mbappé, but Real Madrid don't actually feature there at all, and that's exactly how Real Madrid want to play this. As much as you can keep a low profile when you're involved in the biggest transfer saga of the summer, that's what Real Madrid are trying to do. They're trying to keep a low profile and stay out of this as much as they can until it's the moment to act, until it's clear what PSG's position is, what Mbappe's position is, and whether those two parties can reach some kind of agreement on the best way forward. And that's the time for Real Madrid to get involved. When it's clear that PSG are willing to let Mbappé go this summer, then Real Madrid can make their move, because of what happened last summer, because of what happened 2 years ago. I think they're treading incredibly carefully, and they're always a club that likes to really kind of keep a straight face, and you don't get the same kind of leaking and games with the media from Madrid as you do from some other clubs. But especially in this case, they really are trying to kind of stay out of it, and that's why we've heard this line from them over the last few weeks, basically saying that, we're not going to make any more signings this summer. Now, that's already been proved not to be the case with Arda Güler. We'll talk about him in a bit. But that's really been aimed at Mbappé. And like I say, trying not to get drawn into this saga any more than is absolutely necessary.
Yeah, and trying not to get the fingers burned once again, as we remember last time, that situation that Alex was talking about there. Does this hurt the player's legacy in any way, Stevie?
Absolutely. I don't know about you, but I'm sick of listening to this guy. As much as he's fantastic on the field, he keeps throwing us left and right. We don't know where we stand. All of a sudden, a couple of years ago, he doesn't want to leave the club in the lurch. He doesn't want to go on a free because they don't deserve not to get money for me. Now it's almost like he's looking for attention because there's no reason for him to say anything. If he sends that letter to the club, then that's fine. But why are they leaking things? Do they want the attention, or has he just had enough and wants out? And if that's the case, then just say that. I mean, it's getting a little boring, and the more he comes out with nonsense, and the more he doesn't make his position clear, then the more people get fed up of him. As good as he is on the field, there's no question that sort of stuff sticks with you.
Yeah, just going back to the Madrid side of things, though, because as you did mention, Alex, not saying too much, but then we did just see Ardigula come in. And it's something that yourself and Sid Lowe have talked about, that don't necessarily believe, just because they've said that that transfer window and business is shut, that it is when it comes to Real Madrid. What is the feeling as to whether he could be coming then this summer?
I think the feeling, on the balance of probabilities, we think the most likely scenario is that he does end up coming this summer, Mbappe, that this is the moment and it's going to happen. But at the same time, we would have said that a year ago. We would have said that 2 years ago. And so we can't rule out a different outcome. We can't rule out him ending up even signing a new contract at PSG, because we've seen so many twists and turns and surprises with Mbappe that you don't want to rule anything out even at this stage. But I do feel like we're moving towards a more likely conclusion, which is him joining Madrid and finally putting an end to this saga. And yes, it has become a little bit tedious for a lot of people, I understand that. But as far as Madrid fans are concerned, I think all of that will be forgotten very, very quickly. If he does join Madrid and he is the player that we all know he is, and he's scoring goals and he's the best player in La Liga, all of that would be forgotten about very, very fast.